Hey guys, welcome back to Briar Society. Today we have got a Cricut tutorial for you suitable for beginners, showing you how to create this eye mask with the honeymoon design on it. So we're showing you how to create the design, how to curve your text, how to use iron-on vinyl, as well as layering iron-on vinyl. So here's what you'll need. So the first thing you're going to want to do is open Cricut Design Space, and you will need a blank canvas. So if you don't have one already, come over here to the left-hand corner and hit New. Now, as you can see, I've already created my design here in the middle, and this is what I'm going to show you how to create yourself today. Obviously, the same techniques can be applied to different words for whatever design you need. So I'm just going to move this over to one side so you can see what we're working towards. So for you, step one is going to be coming over here to the left-hand pane and hitting text. Then you'll just simply type in your chosen word. Obviously, mine's honeymoonin'. Once you've done that, make sure that you're in the text or the font that you want to use. I'm using Cricut Sans. If you want to pick a different one, hit the drop down arrow and pick from in the system. The next thing I'm going to do is create this curvature. Because I'm putting it onto an eye mask, which obviously has a slight curvature to it, I just thought that'd be quite a nice touch. So to do that, we're going to come up here to the top where it says curve and select that. Now, as you can see, it's asking about the diameter, and you can just grab this little dot and roll it either way, depending on what you want to do. So I'm going to pull it to the right. I just want a gentle curve. So something about around there for me. Great. So next, I think I'm going to resize my text slightly. As you can see, I've decided I want mine slightly taller. So this is purely because of the dimensions of my eye mask. Obviously measure the material you want to be ironing onto at the end. So to change the dimensions, you can come up here to where it says size and simply type in these boxes. I'm going to do it by clicking this padlock key in the bottom left-hand corner of the text box. This allows me to use this arrow circle to change the dimensions in ratio to one another. If you leave this padlock locked, it will hold the ratio and just simply resize. However, I say I want to make mine slightly taller. So something like that, and then I'm just going to lock back up. So because I'm going to cut mine out of white vinyl for the most part, except for this second O, I'm going to come up here where the colour block is and change that to white. This will help when sorting onto your mats at the later stage for cutting. It's not an essential step currently, but it's just helpful for later. Also, just making sure that this operation up here is set to basic cut. It probably will be as the default, but just making sure. Okay, so as you can see, the basic design is now there. If you want to do what I've done here to create the sort of overlap between the O's and making the second one more into sort of a diamond ring appearance, what you're going to need to do is ungroup the letters. So make sure the box is highlighted, so clicking on it like that. Come up here to where it says Advanced, and then select Ungroup to Letters. Now, instead of being one box, as you can see, all these individual letters can now be moved and altered on their own. So because I want these two O's to overlap, what I'm going to do is drag all of these letters over to the left slightly. So to save me doing it one at a time and trying to figure the spacing back out, I'm simply going to group these last four letters and the apostrophe together. So I'm going to click and drag my mouse over those letters. Then it highlights them in one single box. Hit group in this top right hand corner. and it will now let you move them as one unit. So I'm going to move that over here closer to the other O, like so. Now to add the extra little diamond shape. So to insert shapes images, you need to come over to this left-hand side. Now, if you pay for Cricut Access Design Space, then you will see down here that there is a diamond shape available to you here. You can't access this without paying the subscription. I don't pay for it, so I've gone another route and simply downloaded an image. So there's one of two routes there. It will then drop it into your canvas. I'm just going to copy mine across. Okay, so it will drop it in probably over here. You can then drag this to wherever you want it and place it as you desire. Obviously, as we did with the text, you can resize this image, unlocking it here to change the ratios and dragging it using this bottom right hand one for sizing. As you can see, mine is in a different colour. I've done it in this, what will be a sparkly silver vinyl. I've represented it here with the sort of silvery grey. So that's again been done by changing the material colour over here. So when you come to cut it on the mat, it knows to cut this out of a different vinyl from the rest of the word. I also want the rest of the O to be cut out of this same coloured vinyl, so it looks more like a ring. So to do that, I'm now just going to ungroup these letters. So come back over here to the right hand side. At the top, I hit ungroup. Okay, and now you will be able to select that individual O and change the colour at the top. Okay, so you basically caught up to where I got to with this design now. So I'm just going to delete out this design and continue with the one I had over here for the rest of this. Okay, so the next thing you're going to want to do is make this ring into one piece so that it doesn't cut it as a zero and then as a diamond. So to do this, select the diamond shape. Then also select the zero or the O, whatever you're calling it. To do that, you can hold down the command key if you're on a Mac. So as you can see, it's now highlighted both. We're going to group those together at the top, and then we're going to come down to the bottom and select the second option along, which is weld. So as you can see, that's now created one shape. So because this, as I say, is being cut out of a different vinyl to the rest of it, we're just going to move this out the way for a second up here. And now we want to attach all these letters back together, because as you may recall, we've separated them into individual letters. So that it cuts it as one word, so we don't have to place them down all individually when we come to do the ironing on. We're now going to click, drag, like before, group them back together, and just like we did for the ring, come down to the bottom and hit weld. This has now created one block image and a second block image. And that's it for the design phase. So we're just going to come up to the top right hand corner and hit Make It. So now hopefully what should have happened for you is, as you can see here, the different elements have been separated out onto different mats according to what colour vinyl you are planning to use for whatever your design is. So I've got my silver, what will be glittery vinyl here, and my white iron-on vinyl here. So all that's being cut out of the silver is the ring. So it's telling you need the mat, you've got the material size. I need to switch the mirror function on because this is iron-on vinyl. Clicking on to the second mat, also switch the mirror function on there. So as you can see, it flips it around. What's sometimes also helpful is just to pull it down slightly from the red line. That's the cutting border. So you obviously can't go beyond that, but I like just to give things a bit more space. Coming back up to the top, I'm going to do the same here. And then I'm going to hit continue, making sure that your machine is switched on and connected. You then need to select your base material from the list. If yours is here, select that. If it's not, come to Browse All Materials and it will bring up the whole list. I already have iron-on in my favourites over here, so I'm just going to select that. If you haven't remembered already to switch on the mirror function, it will give you a reminder here, as well as reminding you to place your vinyl shiny side down onto your mat. So go ahead and do that now. So we're going to load our blade into clamp B, so you just open it up, grab your blade, so it's the fine point one, so it's the one with the almost barely there point. Okay, and then we just pop it in the top here, close the clamp like so, and it just locks it into place. Next, go ahead and grab your weeding tool, which is this little hook, and you're going to use this to remove all the negative space from your project. So that means all the components that you do not want transferred onto your final design. So grab your Cricut EasyPress, switch it on here, and we're going to set the temperature to 155 centigrade, and we're going to adjust the timer to 15 seconds. Your Cricut EasyPress is now heating up, as you can tell by the orange coloured C. Once that turns green and beeps, it's ready to use. Once your Cricut EasyPress is at temperature, go ahead and preheat your material for 5 seconds. This will make the material tacky enough to hold your design. So because we're layering iron-on vinyl, we're going to halve the time that we would normally put the EasyPress on for, because we're doubling up essentially. If you have some heat resistant paper, now place this over your project just to protect it from the heat, and go ahead and apply your Cricut EasyPress over the top of your design with light pressure for the 15 seconds. Once the liner is cool to touch, you can go ahead and carefully remove the backing from your project. Just go slowly, and if it hasn't fully transferred, you can go ahead and give it a few more seconds, but remembering that we are going to layer this vinyl, so it is going to get a little bit more heat in a moment anyway. So you're now going to need to preheat this area again just to make it tacky for the second O, the engagement ring. So go ahead and definitely cover with a heat resistant sheet, just so that you definitely protect the other vinyl underneath, and just hold for 5 seconds. I've adjusted my EasyPress to a 25-second timer, ready to transfer the engagement ring. Once it's in place, recover with the sheet and hold down for 25 seconds. Now flip your project over, replace the sheet and heat for 5 seconds on the reverse. Now simply wait for the backing sheet to cool down again and carefully remove as before. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, if you could give the video a like, and don't forget to hit subscribe if you'd like to see more content like this. We have regular Cricut tutorials and we have a whole playlist dedicated to Cricut. So check that out. The link will be in the description box.